I would like to take an example. For example, imagine that someone who build a new restaurant. Is new, so nobody knows this restaurant, and they decided to, for example, to pay some people to. It's well known that when you enter a restaurant and if it's empty, you don't want to come.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if it's full, you want to come.
Mm-hmm.
It's a law of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about the fact that he can pay people to build his first clients? Can we do that with integrity? Why I have to explain why I'm asking that. We are meeting a lot of different people. We are meeting people about persuasion, persuasion, negotiations,
Mm-hmm.
sales. And I believe a lot in the power of communication, in persuasions, but it's very hard for me in marketing also to know when I am lying to myself because I very want to succeed, and when I do the right things. Do you understand?
Yes.
And yeah, so I take the example of the restaurant because it's not so bad to do that if the food is good, but yeah.
When I hire someone to design an advertisement that I want to print in a newspaper or magazine or show on television, I am paying someone to create a perception about me. If I'm hiring people to eat at my restaurant in order to create a perception, I'm hiring people to create a perception about me. So it has, for me, less to do with the behavior and more to do with the intention behind the behavior. You see, there are two forms of creating consent with the public. Consent meaning the public says yes to something.
Yeah.
Yes? And one way is through informed consent, and the other way is through manufactured consent. Manufactured consent is the prevailing strategy for social engineering. It was designed and given that term almost 100 years ago now by the father of modern public relations, actually, whose name was Edward Bernays. Bernays not spelled like the sauce, but spelled B-E-R-N-E-Y-S. And what Bernays did was he developed a set of strategies for manipulating the public, manipulating public opinion to support products, services, causes, or candidates, while thinking they were doing that out of their own free will, but where they had been propagandized or manipulated into providing that support. That's manufactured consent. That's creating yes in the mind of somebody that wouldn't have come to yes on their own. Informed consent, in the restaurant example, looks like this. The restaurant owner hires people to eat in the restaurant in order to draw people in to have an experience firsthand themselves of the food that's in that restaurant. And if what that person is providing, with what that restaurant owner is providing, is truly healthful, high-quality food prepared in a delicious way and served in an enjoyable atmosphere, then the only purpose that hiring people to eat in the restaurant would have served is the purpose of helping the public discover that there's something they were looking for in the first place in this restaurant when they might not have chosen to come in otherwise. That's informed consent, because all people needed was an opportunity to find that what they were looking for was here in this restaurant. Now, contrast that with what, let's say, Coca-Cola does. This is going to get me in some trouble, but Coca-Cola, I'll say at the front end, I happen to like the taste of Coca-Cola. But what Coca-Cola sells isn't Coca-Cola. Its true value and its perceived value are completely disconnected. In the restaurant, and I'll say why in a second, in the restaurant example we're talking about, where the food is good and it's healthful and people have a good experience eating there, there is alignment between the true value of eating at that restaurant and the perceived value that there is a value there, right? With Coca-Cola, there's a complete divorce between the two. What Coca-Cola is selling is happiness and peace in the world and all kinds of warm, fuzzy feelings and special feelings and all of that stuff. And why is Coca-Cola selling that? Because they need to manipulate people into drinking something that has such high sugar content that if we had the sugar directly into our mouth, we would get nauseous. We would want to throw up. And has such high salt content in order to make us thirsty so that we drink more and more and more of it, so that the more we drink of this high sugar fake food, the higher risk we are at developing diabetes and becoming overweight and all of those things. So the true value of Coca-Cola is illness. The perceived value of Coca-Cola, according to its ad campaigns, is happiness and joy. That is lack of integrity. The restaurant example, the way I described it, is an example of real integrity. It all depends on the motivation.
Yeah, because I see two things when what you are saying. The first one, with the example of the restaurant, you attract the clients, but he has the opportunity to say yes or no after if he doesn't like.
Yes, that's informed consent.
Yeah, and the second thing you are saying that they attract people in respecting their value and because they are doing great things for the clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a huge answer from me. You helped me a lot in things because I was in trouble with that. Yeah, it is manipulation, persuasion. Oh, I don't know.
It's all persuasion. Marketing is about persuasion. But if persuasion is done in a way that informs people so that they can make whatever the right choice is for them, that to me is ethical. And when persuasion is used to manipulate people into making the decision that the person doing the selling wants them to make, regardless of whether it's good for the consumer, that to me is unethical.
So the last question we have to ask is my product, my service or my product is good for my clients? If I am doing things to help them to say yes, is it okay for me? That's right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great answer.